Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to have you here, and I'm really excited, Elaine, to have you joining us today for all of our learning and development folks to just share from your vast experience and knowledge as really a titan. And I use that term specifically, a titan in the talent development space. And so to have an opportunity to hear from you, especially about getting your career back on track, is going to be so huge. And so I want to have you have all the time that you need. And so I'm going to let you take things away.
All righty. Thank you so much, Jennifer. It's exciting for me to be here as well. So thank you for having me, and I'm pretty excited about it. I don't have to tell anyone that it's been a year of disruption, upheaval, and confusion. And many of us, especially those of us in learning and development, have been so busy helping other people with their careers that sometimes we've forgotten about our own. So if that happens to be you, I'd like you to take the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and just kind of think about where you are. What do you want? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to take control of your life? Do you want to get a promotion? Are you looking for a new job? Are you trying to start your own business? Wherever you are, there's one question that you do need to think about. And that is, where are you going to be in 5 years? Just think about that. What is your answer? Your passion, your goals, all of those are uniquely yours, and they feel right for you. And whatever's right for you is for you. It's true for you. You are proud of it, and you should be. Now, finding a career that feels right for you and that gives your life purpose is really the ultimate goal in life. I am so fortunate to have found my passion. I started as an actuarial science major. Some well-meaning guidance counselor thought, oh, you're pretty good in math, let's put you there. But that was definitely not right for me. I believe that no one should get up and go to work. You should be able to get up and go to play every single day. My passion is to inspire, guide, and support others to create a life that they are excited about. So, why focus on your career? 2020 was a year that really showed you that you need to be prepared for everything. I truly believe we should all be doing what we love every day. We invest so much time in our jobs that you need to invest in yourself. And no one cares more about your job than anyone else. You will spend over 80,000 hours working in your lifetime. Yet most of us spend more time planning a vacation than their careers. So I pulled together a book. As I said, I'm so lucky to have found my life's purpose. But first came the career that I love, and that's facilitating others to learn. I felt so passionate about helping others to create a life that they're excited about that I compiled my ideas in a book. So I've spent years on this particular book, and you know that I've written a lot of books, but this one I've spent more time on than anything else, and I've done the research. The book itself uses a running theme. It uses 4 steps for planning your career, 12 skill categories, 51 skills, and those skills I researched with lots of other people who understand what it takes to have a successful career. And the book even addresses building character and avoiding career derailers. But the bottom line is it's your race for your success. And so I'm going to go back to that question again. Where will you be in 5 years? This presentation is going to help you share the answers to that particular question. I'm going to share some ideas. I'm going to describe some activities, and all of those are going to help you prepare for your own career race. Now, my presentation is supposed to be only 20 minutes long, and I don't know about you, but there is absolutely no way that I can help you create the life that you want in that short of a time. So I created a 19-page career planning handout guide for you. I might be referring to it on occasion, but you do not need to have it in front of you. Everything is detailed and it's out there. You should be able to download it from the chat. I'll also post my email address on the last slide. So if you want to get it, have me email it directly to you with some other answers to questions, I'm more than happy to do that. But why now? Why now? I'm sure you're wondering, everything is crazy, and I truly believe it couldn't be a better time to be looking at your future. Yes, life is more chaotic, but that only means that you have more options. Yes, there's more skills required now than ever, and you've probably been practicing some of them. Well, that just means that the whole career idea is wide open for people who are ambitious. It is still uncertain. Life is uncertain out there, but what I see as a positive is that it allows you to help define your own future as well as to help your organization define its future. So let's use that running theme that I mentioned. It's a 4-step process to get your career on track. First step is to reignite your passion. Second, assess your skills. Third, choose goals and strategies, and then ensure your career success. Now, if you take a look at it, it's easy to remember because the acronym spells RACE. Again, reignite your passion, assess your skills, choose goals and strategies, ensure your career success. So let's get you started with joining the race. So let's just take a look at the first step, which is reignite your passion. If you happen to have the handout, or if you want to jot a note to yourself, the page 2 has tons of ideas about how to reignite your passion. Think about a couple of things. I'll give you just a couple of ideas. First of all, what's exciting to you? List what you're passionate about. What people? What characteristics do other people have that you like to work with? What job activities do you like? Where do you like to be? What geographical descriptions? What are your working conditions that you like? And what are the topics that interest you? What books do you like to read? All of those things will help you find a way. I think another thing you can do is you can think about your legacy. What specific legacy do you want to leave? And then think back to yourself as a kid. What did you want to be when you were a kid? Think about those dreams. I remember being in 3rd grade and sitting on my bed in my bedroom saying, I want to just write books. I want to live on an island and write books. Now, I'm not living on an island yet, but I have had an opportunity to write some books, and I'm pretty excited about that. The second bullet in front of you is your personality. You really need to understand why your personality matters. Are you much more of an analyzer? Are you much more of a socializer? Whatever it is, those will help you to reignite your passion. All right. Also, in order to reignite your passion, you need to prepare. You know, if you think about runners, they prepare for the race. They fortify the basics. They eat right. They get more sleep. They do some short distance runs. But you need to strengthen your learning foundation also. So what the heck do I mean by that? Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, you need to value lifelong learning. Now, those of us in L&D, we invented that valuing lifelong learning, right? So we ought to know how to do it. But, you know, just lifelong learners tend to improve where they are. They take a look and assess where they are compared to where their passion lies and determine a plan to move forward. They ask questions and they try new things. Another thing that will strengthen your learning foundation is to master your mindset. Of course, we all know about growth mindset. And in your handout, I've put a couple of activities that you can do, as well as some connections to some other reports that will help you. But truly, a positive thought and knowing where you're going, master your mindset. Be positive. Go for it. A third thing is you can differentiate a career search and a job change. What are you doing? Are you looking for a new career, or are you looking for a job change? Make sure that you have that clear in your mind, because the search will be different. And most important, Probably. Align your values. Again, there's an activity in your handout that you'll be able to use to help align your values. If your values are not aligned to the job, your career, you will never be happy, never. So make sure that you take a look at your values. All right, let's move to the second step, which is to assess your skills. Do you really know the required skills for the job that you want to have or the career that you want to have? There's a couple of things, and there's some activities in your handout, again, that you can use. I also have listed some resources in the handout that will help you to identify those. One that you probably know about is the Strengths Finder 2.0. If you haven't used that one, do it. Complete a 360-degree instrument is the second bullet on your screen. If you haven't completed a 360-degree feedback tool in the last 18 months, I highly, highly suggest that you do that. Here's another one. Ask others. Ask others to identify 3 strengths that you have and 3 weaknesses, just to get you started. Go out and ask people you work with, ask friends, and then take a look at the data that comes in. What does that tell you about the skills you need to work on? And then don't forget to review the new ATD capability model, especially if you are in L&D. I think that it's a really great tool. Go on the ATD website. There's some things that you can do, some tools you can play with, some assessments that you make, but do check that out. It's really important. Another part about assessing your skills is that you need to tie it all together. I told you to examine your values and to look at your character and look at your personality traits and then identify your strengths. But you need to pull all of those things together and summarize it in one place. Again, in your handout, there is a place that you can do that. That will give you some real insight into who you are and what you want to do. I want to leave you with a quote from this section, and that is, Orville Wright didn't have a pilot's license. This is absolutely one of my favorite quotes, because if you stop to think about it, Orville Wright just got in that plane and he flew. He didn't have a pilot's license. And I think sometimes we as L&D professionals hold back because we worry that we don't know how to do something, or we don't have the right certificate, or we don't have the right certification. Don't worry about it. Just think about Orville Wright and go for it. So another thing you need to do is to set meaningful goals. And I've listed some questions here, and I go into a little bit more depth in that handout. Why is that goal important to you? Don't set a goal just because you think it's going to take you to the next step. But think about it. Why is it important to you? What would you do? What would you need to give up in order to make that goal? I think, again, a lot of us end up just putting more goals on top of more goals, and we keep piling on more things. But you have to stop doing something too. And then the third thing under asking questions about your goals is, who can help you? You should not be going it alone. You need to try to ask for help. And who might that be? It might be a mentor, it might be a coach, it might be a colleague, but it might be your supervisor. Whoever that might be, see what they can do to help you. Examine emerging trends. Make sure you stay on top of what's going on in our profession as well as in the profession or the area that you're working in. And then use the 4 C's tool. Now, the 4 C's tool is something that I created. Again, I'm giving you that tool along with about 20 other tools in your handout so that you can begin to sort things out and figure out what those meaningful goals are. By the way, if you're curious about the 51 skills for career success in the book, I did list them in the handout. And the book itself has dozens and dozens of strategies to increase your skills. But I also want to remind you that life isn't all work. You should be including goals for fun. You should be including goals for your family, for creativity. Don't just focus on your work goals. So choose goals and strategies wisely. Again, I'd like to leave you with another quote to think about. It's Dr. Seuss, one of my favorite authors. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You, only you, have the ability to decide what career you want and where you want to take it. All right, so another step is to ensure your career success. And I think that this is the final step, and it is the one that I think we as L&D folks fall down on most often. We get to a certain point. We're good at goal setting. We're good at moving forward, but then we don't really stick with it. You need to make change a part of your day. You need to put whatever it is you want to do differently on a daily to-do list. You need to find tools that can help you with your development. What are those tools that will help you stay focused, help you stay positive, and help you stay inspired? Again, ask for help. You don't need to do it alone. And of all of them, I think the fourth one is probably the most important to ensure your career success. This is confirmed with some research by the Center of Creative Leadership. Make sure that you spend some time reflecting on what you did that day, what helped to get you in the direction you want to go, and what helped you, what maybe prevented you also is something else you might want to, but reflect on those things. And then change your plan if you must. Don't wait too long. Be proactive about any failures that you might have, and stop thinking about them as failures and say, what will I do better next time? You know, I have called myself the detour queen of the world. I've been a farmer. I designed wedding dresses. I raced snowmobiles. I made plastic waste baskets. I owned a t-shirt shop on the ocean front. Now, tell me those aren't detours to becoming a consultant and an author. They sure were. But I have been able to use some of those skills from each one of those in what I do today. You know, often we fail because we take on too much. We continue what we're doing. Plus, we do more. What are you going to say no to? Now, I want you to think about how wonderful it's going to feel when you cross the finish line, when you win your first career race. Yeah, I did say your first career race. Yep. It is likely that this is not going to be your only career race. The Financial Times thinks that you're just starting. Be prepared to switch careers about 3 to 5 times in your lifetime. I'm not talking about jobs. I'm talking about careers. So your flexibility is absolutely crucial. Here's another one of my favorite quotes. It's by Richard Biech, and it comes out of his book, Illusions. It's an old book, but it was very inspirational to me. The quote that stood out to me the most was, argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. Don't let that happen to you. Don't argue for why you can't, couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't. Go for it. You only have one life. You know, Winston Churchill is a hero of mine, and one of his quotes that I like sort of goes hand in hand with this one, and he said, never, never, never give up. So I think that that's a quote that all of us who are looking at new careers should consider. So reignite your passion, assess your skills, choose goals and strategies, ensure your career success. Well, now it's up to you. You can use these 4 steps to get back on track. So where do you start? I've given you a lot of ideas. There's tons of things that you can do in your handout. But what I'd really like you to do is imagine your ideal day. I did this activity about 40 years ago when I was thinking about moving into consulting. I was attending a training program about how to consult, and 2 of the speakers were Peter Block and Ken Blanchard. And so one of the activities that we did near the end of one of the earlier days was we needed to complete an activity. Now, Those of you in training and development, you know what an activity is. And I remember very clearly that day because we had to describe our ideal day 5 years out. And I remembered some of the words that I used. I'd get up with the sun. I'd enjoy a leisure cup of gourmet coffee while sitting on a deck overlooking the ocean. I'd read the paper, breathe in the ocean air, go to my computer to work on the second book I was writing, and then I'd prepare for my afternoon visit with a large corporate client to help them solve a problem. As I think back, I realized that the rest of the group was probably saying, yeah, right, leisure coffee, overlooking the ocean, in your dreams. Why? Well, at the time, I was living on a farm in Wisconsin. I hadn't published anything. I didn't even have my college degree yet. Yet, just 5 years from that Imagine exercise, I was consulting to companies that employed 5 times the number of people than the population of the small town near where I lived in Wisconsin. I was writing my third book. I had opened a branch office in Norfolk. It was an old house that we remodeled into an office. And the best part, the office, it wasn't on the ocean, but it was on the Chesapeake Bay, which if you're from a farm in Wisconsin, it sure looks like the ocean. So I encourage you to imagine your ideal day. I think it's an important exercise, a great place to start. I also want to recommend that don't be beige. Be brilliant. Plan the career you always wanted and then go for it. Don't settle for a job. Create the career that you want. I think that's critical. My book is just, it can help you, but truly everything is in that handout. It's a long handout and it can help you get on the right track. If you have questions, I encourage you to email me. If you were not able to download that handout, email me and I'll email it right back to you. So, Jennifer, any questions?
Yes, ma'am. I am not seeing any specific questions right now, but just lots and lots. Everything that you talked about was just so helpful. And you did a great job of laying it all out there in 20 minutes.
Yeah. I think the important thing, even if there aren't any questions, and maybe I was providing so much information so fast that there wasn't time to write one, just take the initiative. Take the initiative, whether you're in a job or you're looking for a job. Take that first step. It's the best way to just start. And I think a lot of times we get hung up because we get worried about what somebody will think, or the fact that we don't have the skill, or that we don't have the career we want. So I just really suggest that people just take the initiative and get started.
Yes. And I have to say that your books have helped me so much. And so there was a lot of kind of, geeking out a little bit when I thought, oh my goodness, I get to talk to Elaine Biech. She's just going to be great. Because you have been such a giving person in everything that you have done. You've made yourself successful and you've built a career helping other people be successful. So I just really appreciate all that you've done, especially for this group. And as I'm talking, I see a couple of questions have come in. And one of them is within the race analogy, do you have advice for folks who find it to be a marathon and not a sprint? How to increase endurance in this process?
Well, first of all, I think it is both a sprint and a marathon. I think you do multiple sprints in order to get to that marathon. I think that there are some things that you can do to build up your strength. One of those is to have a partner. whoever it is, so that you can share what happened, what went well, what didn't go well. I mean, I think a lot of us feel like we ought to be able to go it alone, and we can't. We need someone else that's going to help. So talk to your colleagues about what worked, what didn't work, and how you want to do that. I think the reflection exercise is really critical, and we do not take the time to do that. We don't take the time to step back, think about what I did today, what I'd do differently, what I'd do better. I mean, those two exercises alone are regenerating for me. I think that there are probably lots of other things, but yeah, that's what I would. It is. It's a sprint and a marathon. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Elaine, I wish we had 4 more hours to talk about
So
this.
do I.
I know, but and Elaine has generously donated her book, so we've got a booth that you can let us know if you're interested in this book, and we will take care of that for you. And hopefully you got the handout. We'll make sure that it's available as well after this. But thank you so much, Elaine. It was great.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me, Jennifer, and good luck with the rest of the conference.
Thank you.